Good morning. All right, kind of quiet. A little bit of change. I guess markets are up a bit, as we all know. They're at resistance, they're consolidating. And these employment numbers, the jobless claims, came in quite a bit higher than what was anticipated. And the markets typically would rally on that bad news. You know, Fed's more information to support the Fed would give them their rate cut, but they're kind of flattish here. You see they're up a little bit. You see the cursor, of course, basically unchanged at yesterday's close, give or take. You move it around a little bit. It's right up there. So for right now, just consolidating, at this resistance area, the gap down under the little narrow range bar clearly got bought. So now we wait. Unchanged there, going to take out the prior day's highs, going to take out today's low. Well, 5,200 on the SPX has been a stall point. This is a little bit underneath there, but so 520. You can see all those pivots over there on the left there. So right now, just marking time. This is a good sign initially. And it's one bar, but that's one good sign. That the gap down was bought and it closed like that. And now we got to see if it can continue higher. This is what we call a correction bar. A correction bar is one in which it trades under a bar or two's low and comes back again. In this case, it was a gap down, but it could trade underneath that intraday and then form a bottoming tail bar. So one correction bar, sometimes that results in the next move, but this muted reaction to these numbers here, a little bit in question. So we'll just have to see. SPX numbers weren't touched yesterday. So today, above 5,200, unchanged, unless some other news is coming out. Let me just double check. There's some auctions, 8-week auctions at 11:30. Natural gas stocks at 10:30, mortgage rates at 12 o'clock. So 12 o'clock, 15 and 30-year mortgage rate. I don't know, 30-year, 1 o'clock, there's a bond auction. Just keep it in mind, see what happens. Yeah, so a move below yesterday's low I think would wind up easily tagging this 5150, but that's not happening right now. So far, just flat as you saw. I think early on the upside, it will not get there. At least there's resistance there. Trading below yesterday's low, I think it goes down there pretty darn quick because the patterns do not expect that to happen. Right? Yesterday's gap down and strong close suggests higher. But is it going to go there today? Well, I think not, but being objective as we always attempt to be, this 5,200 has been tested, a couple of times. So it's kind of poking holes in the wall, in a way of saying it, and it's holding up there. So there's a certain amount of time, which just leads to just common sense thinking, right? Bullish move up, it's into resistance. The first gap down was bought in a strong close. And so if today's a consolidation day, I would say by tomorrow, it's got to get moving to test an upper end of the resistance area. Because after a little time, one of the sayings that we have said many times is, it went down because it didn't go up, or vice versa. So after a certain amount of time where you have a pattern that is supportive of a direction and you get price action and supportive of that, after a little while, traders and institutions become impatient. And so they're not there yet. But as I said, if we get a consolidation today, I think it better move higher tomorrow. And there's some other economic news. Well, most of it's coming out at 10 o'clock tomorrow. So whatever happens today, I think as far as overnight, it's pretty much, well, not riskless, but we don't have news risk. Earnings, we have to see what's happening there. All right. Taking a look around, industrials showed some strength. Wide range bar, cleared these highs, closing above there. It's got an open door to moving a bit higher. They're a little weaker this morning. You can see the futures, they're red, the others are green. So an inside bar so far, hourly uptrend, not doing anything here. So if today was to be a consolidation day, we're looking at the others, while we would not label this as a 1, 2, 3 buy because it's up a bunch of bars in a row, this having a wider range bar and an inside bar, it better try and move up here. You remember, it's not the exact same pattern, but this is kind of a breakout, a consolidation. And what we had looked at, let's see if I put it over here, back here, where we're looking at the weekly chart where it broke out and had the inside bar. So one of the patterns, it's a little, it doesn't jump out at you, but this breakout bar failure pattern is pretty reliable as a heads up that as to something that shouldn't happen. Meaning we had 3 weeks of consolidation and then a breakout. And then you get an inside bar. That's fine. And then it should continue higher because it rested. But no, it broke the low. And that's what started the move down. So as we look at the industrials, looking at the futures, if this was the end of the day, we'd say, okay, this better take out the high. If it takes out the low, gets deep into the wider bar and spells trouble. We'll see what happens. Qs, there's a little consolidation going on there. So bullish price action so far at resistance. And if it can close well, like I said, it should go up tomorrow. SPX, S&Ps, same consolidation, no big deal. Same story. You can see it held the 50 MA. The Russell is holding up here. Not doing much of anything. It's inside bars here. Bitcoin, I think, is getting interesting. Maybe not quite there yet, but I'm kind of looking at this as a downside shakeout or a head and shoulders bottom, potentially. It's got time to see. But looking at Ethereum, I think this is an attractive watch. It's down far enough. It's on support. There was an initial bottoming tail bar. Last week was a bottoming tail bar that broke the lows, kind of like a correction bar. This week's just an inside so far. So, it's not the same, but it's similar in that, look, if it can form that right side, this could be in for a move higher next week. So something to keep in mind. There is a technical issue with that. I wouldn't know what it is. You want to type it in there. Code, meaning there's something wrong with this chart. It's a bottoming pattern. Well, I don't know, Alex. Don't keep us in suspense. You're willing to let us know. Programming. I don't know. Is that like a technical fundamental thing? Ether code. Well, I think that whatever the problem is with that coding, it's kind of getting figured in. So somebody probably knew about that here whenever Bitcoin was going down, and now it's making a bottom. So I look at this pattern and I see a bottom forming, and here's a line chart. I like looking at line charts sometimes, and it's just not ready yet, but it's in the right location, and it's beginning to do the right thing. So it's worth the watch, and it's worth putting alarms to keep an eye on it. So why I'm pointing it out. All right. Gold maybe it's not ready yet, just chopping around here. But maybe starting to bottom. I see it's selling off here at this moment, but based on the daily chart and the hourly chart, it's just noise. So we stay away. Silver's outperforming for whatever reason, but that cleared these highs here. It's coming in a little bit, whatever. I don't know what's going on right now as far as why things are moving around. I don't know if any news. I see this is perking up a little bit. Just trading inside, not a big deal. 10-year, not doing much. If it gets back above 4.5, that might create some selling. I don't know, but I would place an alert there, or if you can use TBT. I mentioned yesterday, and in the green room that it tagged the 200 MA and was moving up. That's up quite a bit. I don't know which, I guess it's down here. There's dots. Unfortunately, we get dots, but that's moving up this morning. So, those weekly chart cleared that pivot, and now it's pulling back. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here with the interest rates and, of course, the Fed and so on, because this is pulling back to where buyers should set up, right? Should show up. What was resistance becomes support. 250 converging moving averages aligned with that. Buyers step up there. So we know what's happened is this has moved up. Markets don't like it. So, and, the dollar, similarly, this is whatever happened here. Never been fixed anyway. This is moving up and into resistance. But so while we're keeping an eye on that, the upside on either of those interest rates or the dollar should be limited short term, but they're threatening to move higher. So you want to set alerts. You don't have to stare at it. There's nothing that's going to make Biden look better. It's kind of like, and whatever he could do, it ain't going to be enough. Remember George Bush Sr.? They were cutting rates like crazy, but he didn't make it because he lied. All right. Read my lips, infamous. No new taxes. Yeah. So crude oil trying to bottom out here. So we've got these threats to the rate cut scenario, which is diminished, but this is good, right? That it came down this far. You know how the markets are, they're jittery. So you want to keep an eye. Does oil start moving up? Do interest rates start moving up? Does the dollar start moving up? That's going to put some pressure on the markets. It's not happening right now, right? Nothing of significance. Again, just a little peek around our ETFs. Same story, up at resistance, holding up pretty darn well. But a significant resistance area. Financials look good. Resistance area. It's just these just are not attractive patterns. Not that I'm just talking market wise. Stocks we can find different things, but so close to resistance, no void. Having a void is a major thing as far as getting prices that'll trend. This may be bottoming out here after breaking the lows, inside consolidation so far. So some more relatively bullish price action. Regionals kind of holding up here, up at this resistance. So pretty much everywhere we look, prices, let's say they were short-term extended. They reached a destination, a resistance area. So far, the price action has been positive there, but not decisive as to being able to break out or whichever way it's going to go. So we wait for that to develop as we look at these different markets. And, until then, pick and choose carefully. All yours, Dan.
Morning. Yeah, a bunch of gappers in here. Earnings. I saw a headline on CNBC though. It said 89% of the S&P 500 is reported. So we're getting near the tail end. Another I would give $20 if I could wake up and then not talk about interest rates. I'm just pretty damn sick of it. But one thing that does stick out at me, look, let me weekly chart here. So the market took off right at a Fed meeting when Powell said peak inflation, peak rates, and the markets took off. And that's when the market expected 6 cuts. Now the market expects 0 to 1. And look how bullish it's holding up, with inflation still a problem. So that alone, bullish price action on much more bearish news that started this igniting rally, that's telling me the market wants to go higher. So, it's, Greg said we don't have break patterns here, but as is the case, could be over 90% of the time. That doesn't mean we can't find superior setups ourselves. Yeah, I don't know why. I'm sure it's many reasons. Everyone's the rhetoric has increased substantially about our deficit problems. That doesn't seem to matter. I mean, when will it matter? They've been saying it's a problem for 20 years. Surely don't matter now. LSCC, Pavel asking about long above yesterday's high. Nah, that's a total mess. That's a sell setup. You've got 3 bars there. No, Pavel, here, stick around. I'll show you 10 times better bullish patterns. Here's one Myrna. Buy setup, breakup, daily, weekly, monthly. Odd. My alarm went off. This was a gap on earnings yesterday. Bullish 15-minute chart. This could be a day trade target. And look how the 50 and the 200 are just kissing each other there. I had an alarm on Monso go off, and we are in this. This is a superior pattern, Pavel. Gap up, 1, 2, 3. Gap reversal. Uptrend. We sold a third pre-market. It has earnings next week. Ball. We're in this. Pavel. This is a better pattern. Kind of a slow grinder, but see how it's in an uptrend, daily, weekly, monthly. I had a Kula alarm go off. Oh, okay, our Kula. We've been in this for a while. I mean, I don't know, just eyeballing it. We're probably flat. It's been dead money, but breakout daily, weekly, monthly. Set up new alarm. We have one negative gap against us. Cream. We have a 270 put spread. I don't have any idea what the news is on this, but I moved stuff to 30-minute low. There's our line in the sand. Let's go up to earnings now. There's a ton of them. And I went through once already and deleted a bunch. Actually, this ring had earnings yesterday. I think this could be the start of a long-term bottom, daily, weekly, monthly. So I'm going to keep an eye on that. XBI. I was hoping we'd get another day or two pullback. Daily, weekly, monthly look good. Boyle, Alex brought to my attention, natural gas ETF is bottoming pattern. All right, there's Myrna, Dove. There's a bullish pattern. All right, here we go on the earnings. Hood, 1920. So now the gap's too big. I sent out a chart last night saying if it opens around 1850, I'd be all over it. Now the gap's too big. All right, there's a lot of stocks here. I'm gonna watch because I'm just gonna throw them into the category of, big old nasty gap down. Let's see what they do. Run, run, spot, run, bottoming pattern, broke out, buy setup, gap to 1213. There's no void there really, but it could be the start of a bottoming pattern. This is not a textbook W bottom, but it's a beautiful retest on major support. So actually my option traders, if you can, on a pattern like this, I wouldn't mind going out a month even. We typically like short-term expiring, selling options because we get the time decay. But with what I just showed you, daily, weekly, and if there's any juice at the tens and it's gapping up, I don't mind selling the tens for a month out. AUR was a bullish pattern. If it opened flat, it's down a little bit. I'll delete you. I have plenty to watch. Leslie, no pattern, will come back. Cart has been a followed stock recently. Instacart opening flat, no pattern. Airbnb was down more earlier. When I trade these excessive, I like this because it was down at the 200. I have it here in the middle chart. So I'll watch that. Bumble, 1160. Now, ideally, I love the gaps that gap just over pivots with a void. And this one really has neither. But this is at all-time lows. This was 80 something dollars. And now we have a gap reversal into earnings with a gap up. There's another longer term, like month out. I wouldn't mind. Let's my option traders, if you can watch that, a $10 or 9.5 would be better put for a month out. Beyond Meat gapping in the middle of this. This would be a condor setup. Sell out of the money call spread, out of the money put spread. IG call. Yeah, it's kind of a little bull flag there with a void. CXW. Yeah, breakout. Now I see one print up there, but I don't trust it, as you know, unless it's liquid. But I like this one better, so I'll watch that one. Kaibo, I said if it opened flat, short below. But look at that. Now it's a pro gap. Gapping over all this. So the gap is negating this power downtrend. So let's keep an eye on that, both for a directional and put spread. Kaibo. Jay Richardson asking about Crocs, buy above yesterday. For a day trade, Jay Richardson, I would say yes. For a swing trade, I'm neutral because you got that big old top. If it didn't have that tail, then I would say yes as a swing. I think it's the tail making me say it would just be a day trade. but I'm gonna write that down for a put spread idea also. So option traders, hopefully you're taking note on the ones. That just trades too whippy for me. That's a churner, we call it. You know, you got overlapping bars, but you see how the moving averages smooth it out. POS, this is a big bull rectangle. Gap at 1905. Let's watch 30-minute high. AZEC 4250, bearish gap, call spread idea. I did not do any earnings trades myself yesterday. Said G, it says all-time lows. No, looks like 1240 was. So this monthly still has room to fall. Oh, good, Sam. So I have no idea what this thing's gonna do. We'll come back to it. But today's Thursday. So for these ones that have big old nasty gaps, as a general statement, 30-minute high, I prefer a 1 DTE put spread under the low. A mink, this was, if it was gapping a 456, that would be a 30-minute high trade. I'll write that down. Core Z breakout, 365. All right, this looks really good. That looks good. I'll put this in a window on my other computer. That's a gap breakout of a bottoming pattern. Migni 1075, gap's too big, but another pro gap. Fisk's opening 1960, 30-minute high. Looks like it might chug into this gap area a little bit. BKTX Bio. Yeah, breakout. BPMC. That's bullish. I'll put it on my list. Come back to it at 10 a.m. BPMC. And Rex. Yeah, I like Rex. I'll set an alarm 5825. What did I say about RQ? Man, I said I don't like the overlapping bars. TKO, if it opens flat, maybe yesterday's high. Let's set an alarm at 9920. And look, I already have an alarm at 99, so I already thought of the same. Wes. TKO alarm. All right, Wes, 30-minute high, or watch pullback on a 5-minute chart. That looks great. Look at Bumble going bottom right. WBA alarm. We're long puts on this from yesterday. Set a new alarm. 1710. I had OIH as a short watch. But see, my up alarm went off, so I'm not going to do anything with it now. Yeah, Mernon's on my list. All right, Airbnb is bouncing, so they're finding buyers on this gap down. So look at that, from 143. So this will be a great candidate for a 1 DTE. Go through the checklist. I actually, yeah, watch it though. We need an entry. All right. Odd. I will set a new alarm, 3665. And I'll put hood in a window. Roblox got killed, but see our buyers are stepping up there too. Let me check $30 puts for tomorrow. You know, typically in the first 5 minutes, the spreads can be crazy. Well, this guy's not even open yet. Oh, my bad. I was looking at hood. Roblox 30. This is very good juice, but 30 is too tight. But let's watch this here. Let's put Roblox there. All right, those are all the alarms. So let me just continue with this list. CDLX looks horrible. Seg, yeah, Seg looks higher. Hubs was down $50 last night. I had this. I was going to have this on a catastrophic gap list. Well, they turned it around. G and K, no entry. 8, sloppy bottoming pattern, no SUR. As it's going down until it's not. Oh, Duolingo, it's getting killed. Let's watch this. This top from yesterday was a nice gap. I was watching. Greg, what do you think of this? I think 4, half lot, daily, weekly, monthly, or third lot at least. That's fantastic. Let's do stop 50 MA by a third lot. Later, SOLV alarm, bottoming pattern, gap reversal by yesterday's high. Today's Thursday, stop Tuesday's low. Wait, earnings 521. I thought it was on my earnings. All right, so I'll post all these later. Not gonna worry about it right now. Core Z. Core Z gap breakout, I said. It's not sure the target is the problem. It could be a home run entry as a longer term trade, maybe up to $5. It looks good. I like it. I like it. And W. Yeah, it's just slopping around. KBR. Yeah, it's fine. CXW came in too hard, so I don't like that anymore. EPAM getting killed. All right, Duolingo. There's no entry here. That looks like it wants to go to the 200 at least. Remember I said this thing had such crazy premiums, but I have seen this thing. It seems like every earnings, it's crazy gaps. So I was afraid of that. All right, Mankind gave it up, so I'm gonna delete that. Rex alarm. Rex, I like this one. This is an IG trade. Q's coming in the hardest. But I like this one IG. Let's buy a half lot, stop yesterday's low. I can check puts also. Seven, 8 DTE. There's this, they're spready as heck. LPG. Yeah, yesterday was your entry though, over the 180. But yeah, it looks higher. IoT, top of the range, up a lot from the bottom, no good entry. Wow, that was an amazing entry here, Don. On this gap up from this retest to bottoming tail pattern. Wow, and it slightly made a new low. I gotta do a chart lesson on that. That's what we would call a 2T bottom from a Climo. So you got the price void, and you got the night and gap, you got the 200 MA. I mean, the only thing that'd be better is if we had major, if this were on major support too, you know. But beautiful pattern. Right, Duolingo still weak, hood coming in hard, so no rush. WES moving up nicely. Wow, yields. Oh, West. Let's buy you know, with markets kind of stalled, let's do 30-minute high on this one. I mean, it looks fantastic now. It's just a judgment call. Greg, half lot now or 30?
What are you doing, Jen?
Do you want half lot west long now or 30-minute high? Because markets are flopping around like a fish.
Just do half. You got to put the stop under yesterday.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, John, I'm way behind here. I've posted 4 trades that I got to post, but I'll get to them. Yeah, I've been behind. I'll go through them when I slow down here after 10, probably. All right, West ADTE, the 35s would be a no-brainer, but I doubt there's going to be anything. Yep, 0 by 15. Midwestern midstream partners. All right. So let's just continue here. Piker looks ugly. Power downtrend, $18 calls, but I seriously doubt there's anything. QDell, I'm actually going to set an up alarm at 44.20. Asda, ugly. Key West broke out, but the old tails. CPA, bro, there's a call spread. I'm gonna check myself. Because of the uneven strike, it has to be 310. 0 by 450. These guys are a joke. That's it's at the top of the range, but it needs to go sideways. Hills, not my type of entry. It's at the prior high. Look, it could, Sam. You better be careful. Patterns like this that are Climo, far from the 20. Your danger is it sets up for an M top. So careful, my son. Under today's low, 1 DTE call spread. That's a bearish gap, far from the 20 on earnings. I'll check 44. There's no dailies and there's no 45s. Wow, you're adding longs here. It's relative strength. It's far from the 20. You know, I wouldn't be adding here with the iffy markets, but I don't need to tell you anything. But yeah, XLF, you know, the sector holding low. This one I think I said would be a condor. If you can do 36.31. Alex Hilton Hotel, gap down. Let's see if there's a call spread at the 150s. 25 by 95. Nope. EPAM, there's no revert. This thing looks a lot lower. Despite it far from the 20, based on its gap and, you know, based on its action here in 23 minutes. That's ugly. Curl. This one I said yesterday, if it opened flat, double bottom. So I had an alarm up here somewhere. It's sloppy, but we'll see how it closes. There's that. Okay, yeah, the solve hit looks great. I'll post it. Rex we bought. Solve and tossed. All right, I got 4 longs to post here. Our tossed was 27.43. Rex 58.90.